Hey everyone, and welcome. All over the world, archaeologists have dug up things that, well, they just don't make sense. They're like these incredible puzzles from the past that totally challenge what we think we know. So today, we're going to crack open the case files on 5 of history's absolute greatest unsolved archaeological mysteries.
And this really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? I mean, are we just looking at weird old objects? Or could they be something more? Could these strange relics actually be keys to accessing some kind of divine power? Or maybe even a doorway to another world?
So our first 2 artifacts, they're tied together by these incredible unseen forces. One is connected to the very core of religious faith, while the other is wrapped up in a terrifying legend of bad luck and misfortune.
All right, first up, we're starting with what might just be the most famous and definitely the most controversial religious artifact on the planet. An object that has sparked fierce debate and deep devotion for centuries, the Shroud of Turin.
All right, so let's get into it. Before we dive into all the controversy, let's just lay out the basic facts. What we're talking about is a long, rectangular piece of linen cloth, and on it, you can see the faint, ghostly image of a man. Now, the big claim, the one that makes it so famous, is that this is the actual burial shroud of Jesus Christ. For hundreds of years now, it's been kept safe in the Cathedral of St. John the Baptist in Turin, Italy.
And this is where it gets really juicy. So on the one hand, the image itself is a total enigma. Get this, when it was first photographed way back in 1898, the photo negative actually revealed a stunningly clear, positive portrait. It was wild. To this day, nobody has been able to definitively prove how that image was made. But then, on the other hand, you have science. In 1988, radiocarbon dating tests concluded the cloth was from the Middle Ages, making it way too young to be the real deal. So what is it? A genuine miracle or one of the most brilliant forgeries in human history? The jury is still very much out.
Okay, so from an object of pure faith, we're taking a sharp turn into something much, much darker. Our next artifact isn't about divinity, it's about a nasty kind of power. We're talking about a jewel so feared, its last owner literally locked it in a box with a note warning anyone who found it to throw it into the sea.
Yeah, this thing has a seriously spooky backstory. Fun fact, it's often called the Delhi Purple Sapphire, but it's actually an amethyst. The story goes that it was stolen from a temple to the Hindu god Indra, and ever since it's carried this awful curse that brings nothing but misery and bad luck to whoever owns it. Today, it's mounted on this really bizarre snake-shaped ring, and you can see it for yourself, safely behind glass, of course, at the Natural History Museum in London.
Okay, let's switch gears. We're moving away from objects that have these huge legends and curses, and we're diving into things that are mysteries for a totally different reason. We literally have no idea what they were for. They are puzzles of form and function.
So first on our list is this really strange object. And they're not just in one place. They've been found all over the northern edges of the old Roman Empire. They're small, they're beautifully made, and they are completely baffling.
So here's the crazy part. Archaeologists have found more than 100 of these things. They're hollow, they have 12 sides, and each side has a hole in it of a different size. They were obviously made for a reason, but here's the kicker. Not one single Roman document, not one piece of writing ever mentions them. And you gotta remember, the Romans wrote everything down. So for there to be zero mention of these things, that's loud. That silence is absolutely deafening.
And because there's no official record, the theories have just gone wild. I mean, what was it? Some kind of weapon? A kid's toy? Maybe just a fancy candlestick holder? Or was it something technical? A gauge for water pipes? A rangefinder for artillery? Maybe a tool for knitting gloves? The fact that all of these are even on the table just goes to show how clueless we really are.
All right, our next object isn't mysterious because of its purpose, but because of its timing. This thing just feels out of place, like it doesn't belong in the timeline where it was found. It was discovered back in 1974 in Romania, and it really messes with our understanding of human technology. So what we have here are 2 completely different stories, and you have to decide which one you buy. On the one hand, this metal wedge was found buried super deep right next to the bones of a mastodon, an animal that's been extinct for thousands of years. This has led some people to claim it's a genuine artifact from some lost, super advanced ancient civilization. But then there's the more, well, rational explanation. It could just be a broken off tooth from a modern excavator bucket that got mixed in with the dig. So is it an ancient anomaly or just a modern day oops? Okay, save the best for last, right? Our final case file is, well, it's a showstopper. This thing is, without a doubt, one of the most mind-blowing archaeological finds of all time. It's an object that completely rewrote the book on what we thought the ancient world was capable of.
Imagine this. It's 1901, and divers pull this corroded, lumpy chunk of bronze from an ancient Roman shipwreck. Looks like junk, right? Wrong. Inside that lump was something absolutely extraordinary, the Antikythera Mechanism.
So what in the world is this thing? To put it simply, it's the world's very first computer, an analog computer to be exact. It was this incredibly complex clockwork machine that the ancient Greeks used to map the cosmos. It could predict eclipses and track the complex movements of the sun, the moon, and the planets.
And this is what will absolutely blow your mind, the timeline. This thing was built somewhere around 100 BC. After it sank, we see nothing of this complexity again until the massive astronomical clocks built in Europe in the 14th century. That is a technology gap of over 1,400 years. That knowledge was just gone. It makes you wonder, what else did they know that we've completely forgotten?
And we're not talking about something simple here. How complex was it? X-rays have shown this incredible system of more than 30 bronze gears, all interlocking and working together like a high-end Swiss watch. And every single one was crafted by hand more than 2,000 years ago. It's just an absolute marvel of ancient engineering. No other way to put it.
So these 5 artifacts are pretty incredible, right? But believe me, they are just the tip of the iceberg. They're a powerful reminder that history is just packed with secrets and unanswered questions, all just waiting for someone to find them.
I mean, the search for answers is never, ever over. You've got countless other puzzles out there. The bizarre prophecy of the last pope, the still unsolved theft of the golden Cotta Finesti helmet, the truth behind the legend of Romulus and Remus. The past is just full of these amazing secrets.
You know, at the end of the day, what all these artifacts really show us is that history isn't just some dusty old book on a shelf. It's a living, breathing puzzle that we're still trying to solve. And with every new discovery, sometimes we get an answer, and sometimes we just get an even bigger question. It leaves you with just one big question, right? What are we going to find next?